What's up, grinders? It's the Country CEO back again, man, with another video. Ready to give you some more game in this new year about this dump truck business, right? Right? Hope you had a good holiday, still coming off the first of the year, but now you're still trying to put this thing together to make your move, right? Or for those of you who are already in it, I hope that I'm continuing to add value to you as you're considering possibly scaling your business up to do big and better things in 2021, right? All right, let's get into it. Topic for today is the 4 top brands of trucks you should consider for a dump truck, right? The top 4 brands that you should consider if you're looking to buy a dump truck or if you're looking to scale or add another one to your fleet. What brand should you go with as relates to what's going on lately, what's percolating with some of these trucks and all that good stuff, right? And I'm just going to give you some game on what I've discovered, what I've researched, what my experience has been when it comes to these 4 top brands, all right? Let's get into it. First brand on the list is the mighty big and bad Peterbilt, right? We know that Peterbilt is a popular truck, certainly in the realm of over-the-road trucking. Is considered by many to be what? The Cadillac of trucks, right? That name, Peter Car, Peterbilt, 379 extended hood is just synonymous with excellence, right? And so everybody wants a Peterbilt. All right, been there, done that. All right, had a road truck and a Peterbilt at one time, and man, that thing was nice, right? All right, but also had the privilege of buying a used triaxle dump truck at one point for a dump truck, right? And it was a pretty good truck, right? Solid. And I want to give you some things that I noticed about it. It had a nice little 350 cat, so it didn't have a big cat in it, but it was pretty decent sized engine to do what we're doing anyway. All right, but there are some things about it. I mean, Peterbilt, the name speaks of volumes in itself. It was a used truck, but basically you could tell when it was new, it was nice on the inside, plush fabric and all that good stuff, right? All right, but it was kind of tight. It's not a real big cab. That particular model truck that I have wasn't a real big cab, right? But it was a truck that did the job, right? All right, so Peterbilt, for a minute, they were the most luxurious trucks or dump trucks, if you will, right? As far as comfort and plushness and the bells and the whistles on the inside of the truck. For a while, until as of late, last 15 years, they were the most luxurious trucks that you could get as relates to that. All right. Also, several years ago, they went with the Chalmers suspension, right? Several years ago. It ain't been like yesterday, but several years back, they went with the Chalmers suspension, right? And suspension is everything in a dump truck. And I found that Chalmers suspension really worked well in that truck, and they got a good thing going with that. And I hope that they will certainly stick with it, right? All right, so those were some things that kind of stuck out to me with the Peterbilt. Just the luxury of it, being a nice truck on the inside, because dump trucking is dirty work, right? But a Peterbilt is a pretty nice truck. All right. Second on the list is going to be Kenworth. Many of you already know Kenworth is made by the same people, PACCAR, that makes Peterbilts, right? My first truck was a Kenworth. If you've listened at me on some of my previous videos, right? It was a 94 Kenworth, used to be a rider truck, was converted over into a dump truck, right? And so it was nice inside, but the biggest thing that stuck out to me about that Kenworth was the room inside. When it came to that Peterbilt that I bought years later and that Kenworth that I first started with, the biggest thing I found that Kenworth had over that Peterbilt is the room inside. Man, I could stretch my legs out. I could literally lay down in that particular truck, right? All right, and so I enjoyed the privileges of that particular truck because of the amenities that it offered me by that. Because you can probably tell I'm a pretty big fella, hefty fella. I need room, right? So that Kenworth offered some nice room in that particular truck that I enjoyed. Okay. All right. And so Only thing that you need to be on the lookout for when it comes to a Kenworth, especially if you're getting a truck that's already put together, what I've seen is those Kenworths tend to come with those big boxes on them, right? Big boxes, right? And you've heard me in one of the previous videos talk about the fact that over the course of a couple of years, if you got those big boxes, these loader men, these contractors on these jobs are not discriminatory, right? If you got a big box, they gonna load it every bit to the T, okay? But you could have your buddy over here with a smaller box. It's a triaxle. Guess what? He gonna just load his box full, right? But guess what? Y'all making the same money, right? All right. And then last time I checked, 67,000 at least here where we are is the max you can haul on a triaxle. So you got this big old box, your buddy got the small box, y'all gonna make the same money. You might even make a little less because if you got that bigger box, your truck is going to be heavier, right? So be on the lookout for that because I've noticed that Kenworths tend to come with that bigger box. Okay? All right. So we talked about Kenworths. We've talked about Peterbilt. All right, thirdly on my list is Western Star. Western Star made its dump truck big debut. Not that it was the first time Western Star was used in our area, but one of the dealerships actually started selling Western Stars astronomically, right? Good friend of mine has 3 of them, right? And so I've been able to watch up close how these Western Stars are performing. And I'm here to tell you, they're performing well. Right? All right. I'm in a rural community. Loggers typically had the Western Stars along with Peterbilts, right? So we didn't see a whole lot of dump trucks in our area, even in the area that we worked the most. In Baton Rouge, we would only run across 1 or 2 Western Stars, maybe knew 1 or 2 guys with Western Stars. But I'm here to tell you they're everywhere now. And part of that reason is because they are a little cheaper than some of the other trucks. How much cheaper? Nothing to go and slap mama about. But if you want to spend $10,000, $15,000 less, then hey, that's fine, right? I'm talking about when you purchase a new truck, because I'm like, when you get up to $160,000, $170,000 for a brand new truck, man, you up there. You know, if you're going to spend that much money, just get what you really, truly want, right? But that's just me. Okay. All right. And so they are a little cheaper. All right. All right. They were used by loggers, these Western Stars, but they have a great suspension for what I can see. They have room in the cab from what I can see. All right. And they are performing well. Now, one word of caution, my friend, he bought them when they first started with this new brand of them. And he did have to work out some kinks in that first year or two with them, you know, little electronical issues. But you already know when you start with something new or they make a big change with these trucks, it take them a couple years to work out the kinks. All right. If many of you have had this DEF system on the trucks when they first started back in 06, 07, whenever they first started, you already know it took them 2 or 3 years to work out the kinks with that DEF system. Even now, I know guys that are still having trucks with that DEF system, okay? All right, and so, but these Western Stars, my friend, they worked out the kinks a couple years. He kept buying them. He's bought like 6 Western Stars, and so right now he is a working good, not giving him any particular issues. So as I've discovered and seen up close that the Western Stars are proven to be pretty solid trucks, man. All right, that's number 3. But number 4. The granddaddy of them all, like the Rose Bowl, right? A Mack. Man, I'm a Mack man. You probably already know. You've seen my truck on one of the videos. I'm biased. I have bought other trucks, but the most truck I have ever bought was a Mack, right? Mack has the reputation. It was originally made to be an off-road truck, right? Has that suspension that's made for that. And a Mack just gives a symbol. That Bulldog, man, just gives a symbol of toughness, you know? And I just love a Mack. Back in 02, 03, when they first made the Granite, if you're familiar with Mack, they started making them with a little luxury to it, with a little flair to them, right? They made the cab bigger, which was, if you've ever drove a Mack, and I've drove a Mack even before I went into business for myself, for a cement company, right? And man, those little one-sided Macks used to be so small. I mean, you literally could put your hand to the right over here and almost touch the passenger side door in those old school Macks, right? But these Macks, they made the cab bigger. They made it more luxurious. We're talking about leather seats. We're talking about all the bells and whistles. We're talking about electric power with power doors and windows. I mean, they making them real nice now. I know I'm biased, but hey, the Mack can get the job done. All right. All right. And they made them comfortable now. And I'm real proud as being a Mack buyer to know that they did that, and it made it more comfortable for big guys like me when we're driving that truck, right? All right. And so the Mack is made for off-road, as I said before, and it's industry proven, right? Mack has a great reputation for being a great off-road truck. All right. So I've given you 4 top brands that I think you ought to consider: a Peterbilt, Kenworth, Western Star, or my beloved Mack, right? Any one of those, I don't think you could go wrong. Hear me well when I say this. It's all about the specs. As long as you got the specs right, and you can hear that on another video I put out about what kind of dump truck or what to look for in a dump truck. The specs, long as the specs are right. And when I say specs, double frame, the right rear-end ratio, the right pounds of 20,000 pound fronts, 64,000 or 66,000 pound rear ends, all of that good stuff. You got a good suspension. If the specs are right, you can't go wrong with those 4 dump trucks, right? All right, and so look, now I've given you 4 top brands that I think you ought to look at and consider. All right, let me give you a yucky brand that I just wouldn't recommend to nobody. I hope I don't offend someone if you already have one of them trucks, but I just had a bad experience, right? And I just want to share my experience with you. I bought a Sterling, okay? And the Sterling had a Mercedes engine. All right. Well, let me just say this. I don't think it was so much the Sterling brand as it was the engine, right? And that was a good looking truck. I was in love with how it looked. It was gold. I mean, man, and that thing was nice. Big old cab, man. But I'm here to tell you, after about a year, for some reason, the way that truck is made up under the hood, dust got in my engine, and I had to overhaul that Mercedes engine. Here's the thing. I wasn't the only one. There was 2 or 3 other guys in the area that had problems with dust getting in that Mercedes engine. All right. If that don't be all, and I got knocked in the head for $15,000, 6 months later, I had to overhaul the same engine again. Country CEO, did you say what I thought you just said? Yes, you heard me right. 6 months later, I had to overhaul that engine again to the tune of $18,000 this time. And you know what I did? You gotta go. You just cost me $33,000 in less than a year. I got on the phone to my Mack salesman. Hey, man, I'm coming home. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Help me get rid of this thing. I'm ready to get another Mack. He helped me got rid of it, and I got back in a Mack. I went home. I hadn't totally left, but I had 3 trucks in, and so I decided I would go get this cheaper Sterling. Didn't work out for me, all right? And so, to me, they're just yuck to me. A Sterling, no one could give me a Sterling at this point in my triaxle dump truck business career, okay? All right. All right, and so, obviously, there are other brands out there, Freightliners, Fords, and all that, but we're talking about the cream of the crop, the top 4, right? All right, so look, if this video has been valuable to you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be able to get all of the game going forward in this wonderful year of 2021. Peace out. I'm gone.